She's out. I got the drive shaft undone from the front, and I got it here hanging already. But yeah, it's a bitch because it's an enclosed drive shaft, so it's all together. I might have to undo one of these leaf spring mounts. We'll see. That was a bitch. Mainly because it's an enclosed drive shaft. And I didn't want to take the leaf springs off because then we're going to get into a world of shit. Because all the leaf spring holders are all rusted and shit and 1950s parts, and you're going to break when you take them off, and fuck no. But we're golden. It's there, and the leaf springs were respected. Should be golden. I gotta measure the fucking pillows. Hopefully they're exactly how we need them to be. Don't have to modify anything. Fingers crossed. For sure already we're gonna need some clamps. Turns out this rear end is a different style of clamp. But I think I might have some. Gotta get this fucking motor out of here because I think I'm just gonna bring the other one, back it in here, and then just slap it in. That way I don't have to do a lot of fucking pushing. We'll see. Once I get it rolling again right now, shortly. Would have been a miracle past Christmas Day if these fucking bullshits fit where they were supposed to, but they don't. They're actually supposed to go there. Yup. So I have to fucking grind them off. Should be golden. I actually had to do the same thing on my rat. I had to fucking cut off the spring purchase and relocate them because, well, I mean, you're putting a rear end from a different vehicle and shit, you know what I'm saying? I almost thought they fit though. They almost did. They're off like a 3/4 or an 1.25 off each side. Conundrumly, I don't know if I should roll with the mounts on this one since I already cut them off, but I'm gonna have to get hardware that fits and maybe some fucking drop blocks and I don't know, or cut the fucking leaf ears off of this thing, boom, weld it onto the other one, and then we'll be able to fucking bolt it onto it. Should be easier. But now I gotta fucking grind all these welds down, you know what I'm saying? And that shit sucks, but whatever. We'll figure it out. Because if I run with these mounts, I would have to get the fucking ears and everything to fucking bolt it on because they didn't bring them. Still thinking about it. Probably gonna have to grind these fuckers down so I can use the original. This fucking rear end barely fucking fits in here. Problem having is that these S10 pillows are not gonna work because you have to run the fucking U-bolts right next to it and there's no clearance. But I think the original one, that's a different style. As you can see here, the U-bolts come through the bottom and it just welds like that. I think that one will probably work. Yeah, after all, we're gonna end up having to run the pillow blocks on the old axle, because if you can see here, the center line of the axle is right here and it pins a little bit offset. And right now I have them set up with the S10 pillows right there, and they're pin centered, so it actually makes the tire go forward and it's gonna look wonky and shit. So yeah, we're gonna run these for however many reasons I already explained. It should be golden though. Hell yeah, my brother. I have some breaks going on already here. Maybe I gotta do some bleeding still, but it's pretty much golden. This is that Gixxer caliper setup. Gixxer fucking replica or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Reproduction. Looks like it's working golden. I went with it because it just looks way better than the one that came for the chopper floating caliper. The brake pads were like this big and they look all Chinesium, and this shit's like a Gixxer replica. At least it has a twin piston. It's cool because this bike actually came with this headlight relocation bracket from like TC Bros or something. On top of the original eyebrow that goes for the Sportsters. So it's pretty cool because that's what I needed to run it here. Problem is that I already knew I was gonna have to extend this plug. See that? It's missing about 5 inches maybe. Be golden. Shouldn't be too much of a conundrum to fucking stretch it. Getting closer. I have the fucking front brakes bled. I just need to attach the seat, and we could probably go for a first. That right there is water coming out of this hole. Hopefully everything is golden. If it were easy, everybody be doing it. Anyway, I'm happy because I was able to fucking take this shit off, respecting that curvature pretty much generally here, because this is what's gonna fucking mount onto the other one. Yeah. I gotta put some letters on it, like left, right, right, left. I wouldn't get confused when I'm putting it back together. But I'm doing this because this is gonna mount to it. Yeah. And that's gonna weld to this, and this is gonna fucking mount back to the original leaf springs, and we'll be in business. One of these clamps had that fucking acorn on it, and it was this side, and you can see it's all fucking stripped. Thankfully I have this from an old Ford, and they're almost the same, pretty much. Same thread pattern anyway, so should be golden. The clearances of all this shit are tighter than a nut's asshole. However, it looks like it's gonna fly. I have the original mounts. They're already kind of lined up where they're supposed to be welded on. But I still gotta do like some little tapping with a hammer, and then center it, and then I gotta bring the angle finder that I have and zero it out, more or less guesstimating where it'll be golden for the dry shaft to work. Golden. But I'll bring the angle finder right now and I'll show you. 10-4. Way more work than I expected. So, I was thinking, if this is a 700 R4, does it need to have a kickdown cable? And it does need to have a fucking kickdown cable. And the cable thing is right here. We're gonna need that. We want this shit to actually shift. I might have one. Oh yeah, baby. First startup, I just changed the spark plug. I'm gonna take out the little adapters and put NGKs on it because I have these XLs, but they were burning out. It wasn't even starting good anymore. I gotta check for idling, vacuum leaks or some shit, but yeah. Give her a good running right now. Kinda just been doing office work today because it's been raining on and off. Can't really do shit. I gotta weld taps on that differential. I can't weld in the wetness. But still extending this fucking wiring for the light and ends and odds. Trying to do something. I hate the fucking weather, yo. Still gonna put the brackets on these. That's off a 79 shovel where it'll fit. Testing out this headlight. Looks pretty good. You hear it clacking? I always fuck up with the switch because it's different than my soft tail. That front motor mount, I gotta put it back together and shit because of that fucking crash bar. I don't like how that fucking crash bar looks on it though. I think it's too fucking thick. I'll see right now. Tail lights, signal lights, brake lights. I keep forgetting which fucking button it is. It's a little bit different than my other Harley, but whatever. This is a fucking angle finder, which I will utilize to ballpark this rear end, so when I put the fucking drive shaft and the other motor I'm gonna put, it doesn't bind the U-joints. Usually eyeball it or like put it to how the direction of the transmission was, but since we are gonna change the transmission, I'm gonna just base it off of one of these other vehicles here, probably my 52. And even though it's a 52 two-door hardtop, it should be the same shit. Also, I'm just gonna tack it, so in case there's anything, I might just go back and undo it. Low key, I'm not gonna lie, it almost feels stupid to put this shit on this car because they stored this shit without the torque converter and there's a gang of dirt in there. I'm just trying to fucking really clean the seal and everything. I have mineral spirits with oil on this fucking rag so I don't hurt it, but anyway, cross your fingers, your toes, and your assholes. So this torque converter is for a 350 or a 700 R4, But the transmission is not a 700 R4. I think the transmission is a 400 because that's a thick ass shaft. Yeah, and this shit will never sit in there. I just brought it over here so I can sit it on this one so you can see the difference. And you can see that it has a smaller diameter circle in there where that smaller shaft goes. The other transmission is not the same. I was thinking maybe I could use this one, but then I saw that it does have an electric fucking shifter. I have to fucking do some research. I don't know. It sucks because I just sold the other 350 that I had that was for older car. Doesn't have a computer. But yep. I actually had to do the same thing on my rat. I had to fucking cut off the spring purchase and relocate them because, well, I mean, you're putting a rear end from a different vehicle and shit. I'm saying. I almost thought they fit though. They almost did. They're off like a 3/4 or an 1.25 inch off each side.